pre-show chat, as we say.
Pre-show chats, yeah, they're pretty nice.
Pre-show chats. Yep. Oh man. Yep. Yeah. Luckily. Yeah, I'm out here to do it. Well, of course, an install. But at first I was supposed to be on site at 5 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. Yeah. So I was gonna instantly go to bed as soon as I stop the show. but now I'm gonna have to be there till 6, so I have an extra hour of not sleeping because I have insomnia a lot. So.
Gotcha.
Hey, Mick.
Well, I just got some information to where I'll probably have to be gone for about a 10-minute period in the middle. Oh my God! I know, and there's nothing I can get away from it with.
Unprecedented.
So, I know. Shame. But when Lex has a thing going, you don't say no.
Hey, Rita.
Or you can, but then you end up being either eaten or shoved into a little jar. Either things I find
well,
palatable to myself.
I hope to never find myself in that situation with her.
I understand. All right, so hello everyone.
We got 3 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I like I said, we got to give them a little bit of time to log in.
Oh yeah.
Wow, that's not how I remember it. Okay. Well, I get to that in a minute. Yeah. So originally, well, I'm glad you were able to join us, Kitty, because I already had Agent Blue Stocking was going to join us, but then she bowed out at the last minute. Because she has papers due or something like that. Because she's trying to become a doctor. Well, not like a medical doctor, but she's trying to get her doctorate, I guess.
Gotcha. Yep.
And apparently that's a lot of work. So
just a bit.
A little. Just a lot of work. Yeah. A lot of little work? No, a little bit of a lot of work. Yeah, she realized suddenly, oh crap, she has a paper due or something, so she didn't have the time.
And you caught me at a very good time this morning because I was not out at the workshop yet. So
awesome. Yeah, because I was driving. I was in the middle of nowhere, but and when she sent me the text saying I can't make it tonight.
Oh.
It's like crap. Yeah. So
luckily, it's a weird night. Like Vax can't be here for whatever reasons, and then they couldn't be here, and now I'm like, all of a sudden I can't be here for part of it. I'm like, what the heck's happening?
That's it. Let's just call the whole thing off. Sorry. Good night, guys.
Pull the club.
Yeah, there would have been there was a small scenario in which I would have been late, but that didn't happen, so we're good. So.
Yeah.
Because I'm not about being out in the middle of nowhere. I get other service calls out in the middle of nowhere, but I got out to San Angelo and then I had a call in Ozona, which is from Austin is like 4.5 hours away.
Yeah.
But from here it's only an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So I zipped out there. Huh?
They got a good cave system over there, by the way.
But every time, my past experience with Ozona is back in the days when I was LARPing, which is live action role playing, and there was this big gathering out in Cloudcroft, New Mexico, called the Gathering of the Clans, which is it was a group called Amp Guard. I was in a splinter group, but we went over there anyway. But driving through Ozona twice, 2 different years. Both times our a car broke down in Ozona. So
you don't go to
Ozona is a cursed place for cars. So I was worried, but I made it out and I'm okay. So, oh look, it's 8 o'clock. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay. Greetings, everybody. Once again, you have found a Texas Steampunk Connection. I am Flavio Faz, sometimes known as Dammit Flavio, every once in a very small amount of time, Major Dammit Flavio. With me, as always, is Jack from Steam Chest, and Fax wasn't able to join us today. He's probably out being an adventurer because he's a gentleman adventurer. But Kitty was kind enough to rejoin us, Funfair Treasure. So once again, how's everybody doing? I hope you're all doing great. Yes. This is an audio podcast. You know, you must speak.
Everyone's just kind of like, what? What are we doing?
I know we already talked to each other and that's how we were doing, but now I'm asking how you guys are doing so everyone else can hear how you guys are doing. Just say fine.
Fantabulous.
Doing fantastic.
Fantastic. Awesome. And as always, we have Rita with us and Nick and one other third person, who I do not know because they haven't said anything to us. So we have a total of 3.
Yes.
3 people watching us. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get started with our podcast within a podcast, which I just like to call "What the hell are you drinking now?" I'm sure it's everyone's favorite segment of this podcast. It's like, what's that have to do with steampunk? I don't know. I just like to drink. So I'm going to go ahead and start off. I got an oldie but goodie. I don't know if I've ever drank it online with us during the podcast, but this is one I used to drink a lot. I especially seem to drink it when I think I'm out at Sherwood Forest Fair. I think they have this.
Nice.
I think I could be wrong, but I remember I used to drink this. It's a good standby. It's just a left-hand milk stout.
Ooh, very nice.
This is a nitro version of it, which I forget what nitro does. I think that's what coffee. I don't know. I forgot what the nitro means.
We have the internet. 1 second.
Yeah, but yeah.
Like smooth. I know there are nitro coffees, but it is not inherently coffee.
Yeah, there's a lot of nitro stouts out there, and normally I don't think this always comes in nitro. I think I prefer the not nitro ones. It's still smooth. It's not bad.
Oh,
but it's just an old standby. I was lucky to find it because I was here at the HEB. You know, HEBs usually sell single bottles, or single cans. And the last time I was out here, they didn't have any kind of like stouts or anything that I like. Nothing but IPAs. So I was just happy that I've actually found this. So. And it's a good old standby. I know I like it, and it's good. It's just a nice smooth drink.
Rita suggests packed or canned with nitrogen.
Yeah, it's supposed to add something else to the. I don't know I forget if it's supposed to add to the flavor or make it more potent, but I think it changes the. Yeah, I think it changes the flavor a little bit because I think I prefer a non-nitro. Every time I have a nitro, it's like, meh.
When people talk of nitro, it seems it's a reference to the type of gas used in the carbonation process, which means the difference between the creamier nitrogen beers, which are N2, and their lively, prickly CO2 counterparts. A typical nitrogenated beer contains about 70% nitrogen and 30% carbon dioxide. So,
I think it changes the flavor, and I prefer the regular CO2 flavor, I guess, most of the time. Sorry.
I mean, it's about its own par for, if you have a real sugar soft drink versus the high fructose corn syrup, and whatever you are more used to is what you're going to prefer.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Are you drinking anything today, Kitty?
I am indeed. A rosé. I don't know what kind.
It doesn't really matter what kind.
It's a box kind.
I love rosé.
Oh, fancy box. Okay.
Fancy box.
Some of my favorite wines come from a box. I hate to say it. They're delicious.
They are.
And cheap.
Yes. And take up less space than having lots of bottles.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the other day, it's like I went over, a friend of mine, an old friend of mine back in the high school days invited me over for dinner with her, her and her husband. Her husband is actually a really good cook. Anyway, and I figured, it's kind of a tradition to take a bottle of wine when you're invited over for dinner. At least I've seen it on TV. Right. That's what people do. And I just happened to realize, hey, I have a bottle of wine that's been sitting in my kitchen for I don't know how long. And I don't drink wine normally. So I'm like, okay, I'll take it. And I'm like, okay, when we open this, I don't know if it's going to be any good. I don't know anything about wines. It could be vinegar for all I know. It's been sitting in my kitchen for a long ass time. But luckily, it was okay. It was
good.
But I warned them ahead of time that it could be bad.
Well, they typically are going to be okay as long as it's sealed up. But once you open it, pour out of it, and then let it sit for, a year or two.
Yeah, you should just, once you open a bottle of wine, you should just finish that thing. It's best that way. But that's what box wines are good for. They can sit a little bit longer.
I guess they can. They got more sugar.
And Rita, since you commented on my glass, there's your good look at it. That is a cool glass,
yeah.
It is a great glass.
There are thankfully a ton of places that carry these things now. They were originally as far as I know, originally done by Pottery Barn, and they're expensive there. So everyone made knockoffs, and now you can get them for much more reasonable price.
Right.
Although I don't know how the adhesives hold up in the long run for the knockoffs.
Right. Are they dishwasher safe?
As long as it's actual pewter, I think we'll be fine, because I think the adhesives you can just either throw some E6000 on it or even some sort of 2-ply epoxy in small amounts.
I doubt it's pewter.
Is it kind of metal of any kind?
It is definitely metal, but probably a type of aluminum.
Tin. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Jack? What are you drinking?
With some paint.
What are you drinking, Jack?
Oh, well, I didn't buy it, so don't judge me too harshly.
I will judge you.
Okay, fine. I am drinking Corona Extra, and I'll admit that I'm not really fond of the extra bit. It's a little more skunky than I'm used to. Like, I really need a
add a lime.
Yeah, I need like gargantuan. Like, that's one reason they make this a little bit thicker here, I think, is so you can just fill it with insane amounts of
lime.
Fruit.
I have a very inappropriate joke for that. The Corona Extras, but I'm Mexican, so I might be able to get away with it.
And here we go, right off the deep end. Go for it.
Basically, you know why they call it Corona Extra? It's because they added an extra pissing village to the river.
Works for me. Tastes like it.
So anyway, that's besides the point. Moving on. Oh man. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a joke I used to tell all the time, but I don't know about nowadays. I didn't mention any specific race or anything in there. Just
no.
Nope. Just a river. You know, we could assumed as much normally.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess we should probably get into homework. I did my homework. Did you do yours, Jack?
I did some homework. Yes.
All right. Do you want to go first?
Homework.
It's okay. It's okay. You want to rock, paper, scissors? Who goes first, Jack?
I'll go first, since I probably got to leave here in a little bit, and I'll go do that, and then I'll be back for the rest of the show on that one.
Okay.
So, have any of you watched the documentary on Netflix called My Octopus Teacher?
No.
I have not.
You need to. It's about this photographer who basically has to go find his life, and basically gets really tired going around the world taking pictures because it's exhausting. Goes to his childhood home and starts living there because he liked the beach, and it's like South Africa. So I mean, how could you hate it? And finds this octopus that he just goes to every day as a thing. He's like, you know what? I'm just going to go find her every day and see what happens. And so she starts getting used to his presence and starts messing with him a little bit in it. And it's really a fantastic story. I hate the ending a little bit, but it's life cycles. But
did the octopus eat him?
No, he didn't get eaten. I've been okay with that.
With the gorillas.
Like, that's fine. That's the ending I would rather have had. That's
the bears.
That's one of the, I guess, the hopefully the cut you get in the extended edition. But I don't know. It's a really interesting story from the perspective of someone trying to get the perspective from the octopus's side of things. And I don't know. To me, I'm sitting here going, this is fantastic. I need to talk about it. This is all sorts of like monster steampunk, like xenobiography, not xenobiography.
Okay.
Geology.
Oceanography.
Yeah, oceanography in it too. Just from the fact that he was so specific in the way he basically tried to be involved but not interfere too much in the life of this thing, mainly just to become friends with it. And he would start watching the times when it was starting to play with him, and they would go do things together. And then one time he decides to mix it up a little bit by accident. He's like, he's going to do something. He dropped the camera. Too much movement. She freaked out for a couple days, obviously. But then she got used to it again. And then he came back at night a couple of times and saw how she acted during the evening. And it was a completely different animal. And she was just kind of like, what are you doing here? But I don't know. It was really fun. I don't know. It was steampunk to me. And I think it would make a really good
feature. Where was it streaming?
Netflix.
Okay.
And it's about, I think, maybe an hour. And you're just ensnared for the entire hour. My wife and I were sitting here in my 8-year-old son was just glued to our TV.
Nice.
And that's what I have at the moment for people to check out.
Cool. Octopus. Nice. Yeah, people like those in the steampunk community. It's kind of funny. Yeah, it was weird. I was a little bit off the subject. When I was checking in my hotel today, the lady behind the desk, I was wearing my cowboy hat, and she goes, "Oh, nice hat, nice goggles and glasses and whatnot." You go, "Oh, she likes steampunk." It's like, "Oh, that's cool." I forgot to mention our podcast. I was so tired from the drive, I forgot to mention. Well, I'm doing a podcast tonight about steampunk, but apparently the lady behind the desk likes steampunk.
Nice.
I like that. She at least knew about it. That's impressive.
Yeah, she's the one that said the word. She said nice glasses. I'm assuming she's talking about the ones on my hat, not the ones I was wearing. It's like, cool. So steampunk is still alive in Texas, which is what keeps us in business. No, are we in business? No. This isn't really a business per se. This is just for fun. You're in business, Kitty. You make a lot of stuff.
Yes. I definitely still have a good amount of steampunk, although there's some things that I need to swing back around to and start making again because, oh my gosh, life is insane.
Well, is there anything that would go in a like a parcel service that somehow ends up at people's doors? We need to talk because I kind of run a thing that does that to people.
There is a thing. Yeah, we do need to talk.
Okay.
Sounds like a connection to me. Speaking of, I have just recently I have bought my tickets for November Texas Steampunk November. My hotel reservations are made. I am all set to go.
Nice.
Jack, you said you still need to do that. I think you need to get on that because when I was reserving my hotel rooms, there was very few left, so they're going fast. So you better jump on it.
Yeah, I do. All right. Holiday Inn Express.
You don't want to wind up not having a hotel room available.
Yeah,
because I certainly am not a camper. I know there's camping on site. I can't do it. I'm getting too old for that. I do not have any of the provisions for that.
Just
I have a child and a wife who needs a bed, and I need a bed. I need the bed.
But just remember, if you don't get a hotel, there's that little row in Alvarado of all the camper places, and you just have to break into there and find a bed for the night.
Right. Well, that's where I got my hotel, was in Alvarado. Yeah,
she's on to me.
I usually stayed in the one that's closer. My mind just went blank. It's a little bit closer on the other side, but not this week. This year I'm in Alvarado, mostly because it was cheaper. So
nice.
A little bit further away, but it was not that far away. Yeah, it's just down the road. So I'm not saying which hotel I'm in because I don't want stalkers finding me.
What? I mean, I never.
Why do you think I keep in a different hotel room every time we're online? In case you have a tracker on.
Well, I mean, there was that time you trying to find me last week. I decided to hide myself in a different post.
That's right.
Yep.
I forgot to say, we're transmitting to you from our various airships and bunkers. So I forgot to say that like we normally do. I forgot my tagline.
It's all right. We're doing it live.
Yeah, that's the thing about live. Anything can happen. Anything can happen.
Anything.
That is true.
Man, I'm just rambling now. I'm having a hard time staying on subject. Not that really much of a subject. All right, homework. I did my homework. 2 weeks ago because last week we had Steve Metz on. Oh, by the way, his Kickstarter project has started, and the day it started, I posted it in our Facebook, and man, he met his goal like almost instantaneously.
Nice.
And overshot it by a lot. I mean, just boom.
He pours love into those things.
Yeah, those are some awesome books. Love.
He just rips it out of his body and he uses it as ink. That is what happens.
Yep. Exactly. And, how else are you gonna make a spell book?
Okay, so describe the project because I missed it.
Okay, he's making an arcane spell book with handmade paper, leather bound, all kinds of fancy writing in there. I mean, he does it. It's like over 300 pages. It's an arcane book. It's a story of a guy looking for something, and there's spells in there. It's
okay.
This is his third one so far.
Yeah, like how his other ones were kind of written where it's like the first story in the book, the main part of the story was written from the perspective of the guy who was basically going out and questing to figure out all the information he needed. And like, oh, well, I needed to, get into here and I used such and such a spell, puts a spell in there. And, but he's on this mythical journey to find this information for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like a second story written inside of some of these other books he's done from the perspective of the person who's reading it, who's adding extra notes to it. And then there's like the perspective of the guy going back through and following the original guy, putting in other notes going, oh, this is where he must have been. I found the pillar he talked about. And so there's just like 6 different storylines in this spell book.
Oh,
and
gosh.
It's written in like different languages. So he had other people like translate stuff for him. So he could like draw it in there the way he wanted it. I'm just like, this is everything I've ever wanted to do. I want the time to do that. But then he decided to make it a job and has, done it.
Yeah, according to Rita, he's at 65K and his goal was only 10K.
Wow.
So he has surpassed his goal. And of course there's stretch goals, of course. So you can also get some like his past goal. Yeah. Because he doesn't just do his own spell books. He also has stuff from some other library or whatever, some older stuff, manuscripts and stuff. And he had them done through his process of on the handmade paper that he made or paper he made.
The circles and then the Mariner's map and a couple of other
and leather bound and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
With his style of binding, I guess you can say. And they're beautiful books. They're all beautiful.
Apparently he's at like 65,000 now.
Yeah. And he only wanted 10K to start. So he well surpassed it. So he's whatever stretch goals he's thrown in there, he's reached them.
He's going to be making books for like 3 years now on that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. I mean, I've done some handmade books before, and they are a beast. They are a beast to do.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're doing all of the binding by hand and punching everything, sewing it. Woo.
So I know he doesn't do all of them. He does have a binding service or people that help him with like the mass-produced ones, but like the limited edition ones are ones he touches himself.
Yep.
And does a lot of work on. So it'll add like extra stuff too. And so of course that's the premium package.
Oh yeah.
Of course, I did make a comment to him. It's like between whatever the story that he's doing in his Arcana books and everything, and his zombie monologue book that he wrote a while back. There's a podcast in there I can produce. I know there is, but he didn't jump on it. I said, hey, we can do a podcast. He said
it literally just needs to almost be like a reading of his stuff. You sit there and just like do the NPR voice and just slowly read this guy's narration of his story.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it would, and just every now and then have like some creepy noises behind in the
get some ASMR going.
I would be fine with doing that. My problem is I have a hard time reading words well enough for me to sound cohesive. I've been trying to read books to my kid, and I'll admit I'm like.
Just for a second there, I thought I just have a hard time reading. I can't read. I'm sorry.
I can't read. I don't know what this says over here.
See, my brain just jumped to the paragraph down here. Wait, where was I at? Now I have to read the entire page over again. And wait, what was I doing?
Yeah, I hate when I do that. I'm reading my book, just reading away, and then I'm like, wait a minute, what did I just read? Like, turn the page back. Let's start over.
Read the same page 10 times. Wait, what?
In college for the accounting classes, sitting there reading accounting books, going, "Nah, I'm done today. My brain's not picking anything else up."
Well, the only way, like in high school, whenever I had to write a paper or read a book for English class or whatever, the only way I could do it is I would read like a chapter of my assignment for school. Mm-hmm. Then I had to read a chapter of my own whatever personal book I was reading, and go back and forth. That was the only way I could do it. I couldn't just read straight through because I couldn't. It just wouldn't stick. So I had to read a chapter, then read another chapter for fun, and read my back and forth. That's the only way I could do it.
Let's leave you for a moment. I will be back.
And I'm going to talk about my homework then.
Yes. Y'all enjoy the wonderful part because I know mine was the boring part. So he'll be. He has the. Great
this is going to be. Now no pressure on me. For that I'm kicking you off the screen for now.
All right, kick me off the screen.
Hello.
He's out. I'm right in the middle of a sentence. Sorry about that. He'll be back eventually. Jack has to step away. So what I did, this is going to be a shock to everybody, but I read another comic series.
What?
Yeah.
No one would believe it.
It's called The Legend of Oz, The Wicked West.
Ooh.
It is basically a retelling of The Wizard of Oz, but in a Western format. Instead of the ruby slippers, it's the ruby spurs.
Nice. Now, are the entire spurs ruby, or is it just the little wheel with the spokes that's ruby?
Just the spokes. Okay. Looks like.
That makes sense.
Yeah, just the spokes are ruby. And of course, in this version though, apparently the witches, their powers were in their guns. They didn't just have like wands; they had guns. They do different things, obviously, like spell casting. But there wasn't. The yellow brick road was missing.
What?
they it went for a certain distance, and then people started. It was made out of gold, so people were stealing it. So over the years, the yellow brick road disappeared. So she got lost and couldn't find the Emerald City right away.
Oh gosh. Now I'm just imagining like paralleling Emerald City and El Dorado.
Exactly, pretty much. I don't know about the Cowardly Lion. I don't know what's different. Don't know why he's wearing makeup, but he's wearing makeup for some reason. So maybe he's a fluffy lion. I don't know.
So he's still an African lion. He's not like a mountain lion or.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see that picture. Oh, wait.
Yeah, African lion.
Yeah, just an African lion wearing a crown and makeup. So.
I mean, it could be scars, right?
No, it's makeup.
No, it's makeup. Okay.
They addressed it.
All right.
Because she was her first thought. Here, let me clean that up. Because he was being held captive by flying gorillas that were disguised as humans, and they were torturing him. And she saved them. And she's like, here, let me clean that off. He's like, stops her. It's like, somehow indicates that that's what he wants. That's what he wants to be.
I can't hold the eyeliner anymore.
Yeah. And the scarecrow was actually looks very much like a Native American woman stuffed with straw. Didn't speak, no language, maybe a little bit of sign language. The Tin Man was a gunfighter. Apparently he is bulletproof. Yeah, the flying monkeys were actually gorillas instead of the little monkeys from the movie, but they were also able to disguise themselves as humans and other things, and so they were out and about causing trouble, of course. And the Wicked Witch is also she's a witch, and obviously she has guns as well. And obviously she got into the showdown. The showdown with the speed draw.
Yes.
Dorothy.
Oh my goodness.
And Dorothy was not shy about just shooting people in this book.
Oh really?
That was her answer to everything. I'm in trouble. Shoot it.
I mean, if you're doing the Wild West, I mean.
Yep, Wild West. Like I said, she's been wandering. They finally find the Emerald City in the end, but it took her like 10 years, so she was stuck there for a long time. She was not happy. She's not a happy person.
Odyssey style.
Yeah, exactly. And it was written really well. This is only the first series. This is volume 1 of the first 6. They're really hard to find online. I could not find them online anywhere really. At least the first book, and yeah, it's just the art was pretty good. They finally do find the Emerald City. It's not what you thought it was. It's not like in the movie either or the show. I'll keep that as a surprise in case anybody wants to read it. But like I thought it was, it's like the yellow brick road was made out of gold, and people stole it piece by piece. That's why she got lost, and she was really upset about that. It's like every once in a while she'll see like a single brick somewhere, which kind of gave her an idea she was going in the right direction.
Right. Right. Instead of doing gold rush to California, people just rushed to the yellow brick road and stole all the bricks.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh. But so 10 years passes in just the first issue?
The first 6 issues. Well,
okay,
it starts off with her being there 10 years already.
Okay.
Yeah, she's already been here 10 years, been here a long time. She's not a happy camper. It's like so it took her 10 years before she even started finding like the Cowardly Lion and the Tin Man. And,
oh, wow.
Yeah, she's just wandering around looking for this brick road that's supposed to lead us to the Emerald City. That's supposed to lead her home. But
oh, goodness.
Yeah, so she toughened up during those 10 years, and she has a horse. She's right. Oh, her horse is instead of a little dog, her horse is Toto.
Nice.
So yeah,
Toto, the loyal companion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really good. I liked it. It was really good. Let's see. I think I have something else real quick here. Let me go grab something out of my bag. Okay. All right. A while ago, I talked about a comic that was just labeled Steampunk, and it was from the Xenoscope, the Xenoscope printing company, or Xenoscope Entertainment. It was just Steampunk. Basically, it was when it was a group of space steampunk pirates who in modern day Los Angeles, and they started a drug trade, which is basically what all the people who want to role play steampunk, that's what they want to be.
Yep, that gets your entire party together.
Exactly. In that book, there was a lady called Van Helsing. She was the daughter of the famous Dracula hunting Van Helsing guy, and she's dressed steampunk. And she has her own series from the same company called Van Helsing. And yeah, she's definitely dressed steampunk. So I investigated, and these are also hard to find. Her series are hard to find. They're like sold out everywhere. I investigated and read through this series, and while she's dressed steampunk, I don't know why, just reasons. I don't know if she's actually from the steampunk world, because apparently they have a multiverse. The Xenoscope has a multiverse as well. But she herself, although she fights things like Dracula and Frankenstein and the Mummy and other things, and there was a one shot where she fought the Invisible Woman. There's a lot of gender bending in this series as well. Like Robin Hood is a female, and so is a bunch of other people. But the series itself is not steampunk. It's happening in modern day.
But it has steampunk elements, like the outfit.
Yes. Yeah, just her. But she's the only one who dresses that way.
Well, and if you have world hopping, if you were to actually introduce a device that will actually do that, you could make the argument for the technology to be a part of it.
Right. I mean, there is some world hopping available. I don't know. And I only read the one series. She has a lot of series. I just read this one series. It's called The Sword of Heaven. I haven't finished it all, but it's not, like I said, other than her, the rest of it's not steampunk. Even her laboratory is not steampunk. Her laboratory is very modern day. You know. But I also get the feeling that she's kind of a world hopper as well. She hops around hunting monsters and whatnot, which is why she ran. Because the steampunk people in that one called Steampunk, they're from a steampunk world, but it was dying. It was dying, and they got lucky and they got out, and that's how they wound up in modern day Los Angeles. You know, there's some kind of portals that opened up, and they wound up flying through it. And there's also been versions, singular series, like I think there was one called like Steampunk Robin Hood and Steampunk somebody, I forget. But there's been I have not been able to find those either. Those are really difficult to find. These books are either they're sold out or they're underprinted or both.
Yeah.
But if you don't get them when they first come out, it's really hard to find them otherwise.
Goodness.
So yeah. But I mean, they're not bad. The art in the series is actually really good on all these series. They're a little cheesecakey because, like you see, she's wearing a skimpy little steampunk outfit,
right?
But
and it looks very much inspired by, oh gosh, I don't remember the character's name, but the movie Van Helsing with
yeah, exactly, yeah.
I
forget which one you're talking about now. Yeah,
Hugh Jackman. There we go. What is her name? I don't remember her name right now. But her outfit is very similar to that, with the dark reds, the brass tones, the browns, of course, the corset on that's made out of leather or what have you. Yeah.
That happens to be bulletproof as well.
Yep.
Yeah. But I just thought, it's a follow-up for that series. Like I said, I mean, the Xenoscope, they do have a steampunk world in their multiverse. It pops up every once in a while in one-shots here and there. I've missed a few of them. I just happened to see, I was lucky when I saw the one that just said steampunk. It's like, that's pretty simple.
Yep.
But there was then I got another one that was Steampunk Little Red Riding Hood or something like that. And there was advertised other Steampunk this, Steampunk that, but they were already passed and they haven't come out. Or if they came out, I missed them and I can't find them anywhere.
Oh goodness.
Yeah. What's the male version of cheesecake? That would be, same thing, skimpy outfits or tight, really, tight abs. Sometimes they have like really
open shirt with all the muscle, leather pants,
or really tiny shorts as well. I've seen that. on some of them. I don't think that looks nearly as good, but you never know. Some people like that. I don't know. But yeah, anybody scantily clad, could be male or female. It's all cheesecake, right?
Truth.
And unfortunately, comic books do tend to do that, especially, like I said, the Xenoscope comic books are notorious for it, for the cheesecake drawings. At first, I wasn't interested, but they have other series. They basically retell different stuff, like The Wizard of Oz. They tell different stories.
Just various popular culture
yeah,
things
the Queen of Hearts.
Anyone would know. This is just a different take on it.
Right, different fairy tales, different versions of the fairy tales, all different fairy tales, and mostly modern. Some of them with a modern day twist. Some of them very, like I said, a lot very cheesecake women. Beefcake. It's beefcake instead of cheesecake. Yes. There you go. There you go. Bye. Well, I mean, but at first when they first came out, I didn't really buy them because I can't buy everything. but as I find them at the half price bookstores, the storytelling is not too bad in most of them. They're not all great, but they're not bad.
Nice. Of course, I don't go for comic books, so pretty much my exposure to any interesting comic books is your retelling of them.
I'm not very good at retelling. That's why I'm not a reviewer per se. I'm just introducing, hey, this is steampunk, this isn't steampunk.
And what I like is that you don't give things away. You don't spoil anything.
I don't like spoilers myself, So, although I think I told a lot about, I told a lot more about the Wicked Legend of Oz, The Wicked West. I think I took a little bit more than normal. That's because I'm killing time waiting for Jack to come back.
Have you gotten around to watching Legend yet?
Legend.
Richard Dean Anderson and
we watched that. I watched that a few years back. Honestly, I did not finish the entire series.
Yeah, I haven't finished it yet either, and it's a very short series.
It's a very short series. Yes, I only watched a few episodes, and it's steampunk.
It is. I also feel like this really rips off of Briscoe County Jr.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. It's just, yeah. And I really like Richard Dean Anderson, but that wasn't one of his best works.
But it's one of his favorites.
Oh, okay, good for him.
But no, I really want to actually do some more critical analysis of some of the gadgetry that was introduced in some of these series and really kind of pick some of that stuff apart and see, what was this based off of?
Okay.
How did they steampunk it and do that? I just have to, actually have time in my life to do this.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like
because I think having that kind of breakdown would just be fascinating. I mean, years back, I really wanted to make Doc Brown's rifle from Back to the Future Part 3.
Okay.
And I did end up finding the weapon that it was based off of, and it turned out that it was a little anachronistic for the time because it wasn't actually invented until a few years after it's supposed to take place in the movie. But
well, I mean, you can say that Doc Brown made it. He didn't buy it; he made it. And that's why it's anachronistic, because he's from the future.
Exactly.
He knows. And being a scientist, he can do that. Or being an inventor like he is, he could do that. He can make that special rifle.
Exactly. But because every time that I see a book that has a collection of some of the gadgetry within these shows, the things that I really want to see aren't there.
Right. Yeah, it's like a lot of times, like there are some things like I've seen that they call it's run on Steam, but it's magical Steam or something, or it's made by some kind of special element. Because like there was one anime that they were boxing, and they have basically mechanical arms. They were basically cyborgs, but they're steam powered arms. But they put like super high pressure water or some kind of special water in there to make it work properly.
Right.
So okay, and they even had to measure how much steam pressure was in them because it was regulated for the boxing matches. It was like could go up certain pressure. So they were trying to be as scientific as possible. It's like, right. Except for the fact that it was hard water or magic water or whatever kind of water they put in there. It's like because normal water wouldn't do it. RDA.
Richard Dean Anderson. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep, Richard Dean Anderson. Johanna, hello, Johanna. How you doing? She's a friend of mine, a new friend of mine that we just started hanging out.
Sweet.
And in fact, I loaned her the Legend DVDs recently. So,
Nice. Yeah, I really do need to pull those back out and actually watch them again if I have time.
maybe.
Maybe
I feel like I should at least try to. I feel like I should at least try to finish the series.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it is steampunk, so I should at least give it a better chance or another look. See, I mean, because I also like John Delancey.
Yes.
He's a good actor.
With a French accent. It's like, what am I watching right now?
It's like, why is he French in there? Because Tesla's not French. Oh, he's not supposed to be Nikola Tesla. He's supposed to be an analog of Nikola Tesla. Yeah, that's right. I forgot he wasn't actually playing. Yeah, he wasn't actually playing Nikola Tesla. He was just, even though he was totally Nikola Tesla.
Yeah.
Oh, man, what was I watching recently or reading?
There's an episode with Robert Englund.
I don't remember. The last episode I saw was when some woman came up and said that this guy was or they were trying to make him, saying that he had a son. They were going to replace him with a younger version of him for whatever they were writing about him. So, because there was also, from what I remember in the show, they were writing dime novels about him.
Yeah.
Like that. So they were going to replace him with a younger version of him. You know, like it was a kid or it's supposed to be a son or something. That's the last episode I remember watching.
Okay. Yeah, if you want the kind of what I figured out for why this is RDA's favorite project that he did, he's essentially playing himself as people identified him as MacGyver, because he did MacGyver for 7 years.
Yep.
And so everyone who came up to him, like, oh, you're MacGyver. And he's like, but I'm me. Like, I'm not doing that right now.
Right.
So
I'm
Legend,
not MacGyver anymore.
yeah, Legend, here's this writer who wrote about a character that he wanted to be. And so everyone identifies him as that character. And he's just like, but I'm not.
Yeah.
So that's the best reason I've
RDA
got
only,
for...
Yeah. According to Johanna, RDA only plays RDA. Basically, his acting range is only so much, you know, so, which is not bad. That's what people like about him, you know.
Yep.
That's what I like about him. I mean, especially since because I never really watched the actual original MacGyver show when it was first on. When it first came on, it wasn't really a thing. I saw like an episode here, an episode there, but I never like sat down and watched it, you know, or maybe it was at a time where I couldn't sit down and watch it. I don't know.
Right.
But like last year during my furlough from work, at one point I watched the entire series of the old series. So now I'm all caught up on the old MacGyver, you know.
All the bonkers things that they do, like, you know,
the last season was pretty rough. The last season was hard. It was really hard. I think it was the last season when he went to Merlin's time and he had an adventure with Merlin. That was terrible.
So bad. It's so bad.
That was even a worse. That was even for a Renaissance fair, that was terrible. It's like, I wouldn't want to even go to that Renaissance fair. What the hell?
Yeah, but my favorite one had to be the one where it had the like medieval laser.
Yeah.
So it's a two-part episode, so 2 1-hour segments, and yeah, they have a laser and it shoots at a boulder that has just so happened to have been packed with gunpowder so that it will explode when the laser heats it up.
Yeah, he's bad. It's bad. But there was a lot of bad episodes. Yeah. Oh yeah, where he punks him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam punks him. Yeah, she told me. Yeah, last I saw Joanna, she told me about that. It's like, I haven't seen it, but it sounds fun. I'll watch it eventually.
Yes. It's on YouTube.
So are you or are you not going to be a Steampunk November? Are you boothing there or not? Or are you going to or just go as a patron?
I have a booth, but I don't know if I will actually be running that booth.
Are you going to have one of your elves?
I might have to. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We're still trying to figure out all the logistics because everything is crazy.
Is there something else going on at the same time? Is like the
Texas Renaissance Festival.
Okay. TRF.
Yep.
Yep. So you have to go and whip them to shape.
Yes. Have to.
Is that gonna be your first year there, or yeah? I mean, because I know you got it not long ago, but because of COVID things slowed down or something, right? Mess things
Yep.
up for you. So that'd be your first year at Texas Renaissance. Okay. Oh, looks like Jack is coming back. Let's bring him back on. Hey, Jack, are you back?
There is no hat.
Oh, he's not back. Let's kick him out. Okay.
Yeah, so this will be our first year doing TRF, and I am very excited, but there is a lot of just like
Stock.
leading up to it.
I bet you got, because you got to be stocked properly,
Yes.
right?
Yes, and we're getting ready for Sherwood Celtic Festival happening this weekend. So
Yes, I plan to be there.
yay!
I plan to be there. I just got a text. Oh, Johanna just texted me the video of the gag.
Yes.
That's funny. Jack, you're still muted if you're trying to talk.
That's cool.
There he is.
It's probably gonna get a little loud, so I'm gonna have to keep my hand on my mute button. So
Okay.
if I go mute, it's fine.
All right. Yep. So, hello. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yeah. So you're going to be there at the Couchman Festival then this weekend.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Yes, just on Saturday. We will not be open on Friday because Friday is the evening activities at the top of the hill where bands will be playing, fun will be had. We will be setting stuff up.
Yes, I plan to be there Saturday for the Scallywags. So they're pretty
Yay.
fun. I like them.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah. In fact, I think Johanna will be joining me.
Excellent. Oh.
At least that's the plan anyway.
All right. I'm going to step away for just a moment.
All righty. Let me kick you out then. Ha! Okay.
Apologies for the dog noises.
That's all right. People like dogs. That'll up our ratings. Yay.
Yay. Whiny dog noises, not so much.
Right. Come for the steampunk. Stay for the dog. No, don't. No.
Quick, grab a cat.
Yeah, I don't have my cats. I miss my cats already. I'm not going to be home tonight. Had to make sure to say goodbye and pet my cats all before I left this morning.
Oh, you took them in.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah. So I was telling I told everybody the Legend of Oz: The Wicked West. That was my homework for today. Basically, it's the Wizard of Oz, so from a Western point of view. It was pretty fun.
I like that idea.
I also explained that back when I did the Xenoscope Steampunk, it was just said Steampunk. It was the pirate crew that was in modern day Los Angeles. The Steampunk pirate crew in modern day Los Angeles. There was a character called Van Helsing that dresses very steampunk, but her comic itself, although she fights creatures like vampires and mummies and werewolves and all that kind of stuff, her comic book is not in itself steampunk, other than the fact that she dresses steampunk. That's it.
Yeah, there's some of those stories out there.
But that was my homework, and we were just talking about that Kitty may is probably not going to be at Steampunk November, but she will have her elves work in her booth for her.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we don't know. We will see.
Do I know any of your elves?
Fingers crossed.
I don't know.
We'll find out.
Well, they will soon. We will go and introduce ourselves to your elves.
Yes.
And we will expect special treatment. Not really. Not that there's any kind of treatment to be had.
Well, Ginny might be one of my elves, so we'll see.
Okay. There you go. Yeah, I will try to. I think I'm out of. I need to get more business cards. So I can throw some business cards on one of your tables for this Steampunk Connection podcast. Got to remember to get. I got to refill those. On my list of things to do. Let me write that down. Order more business cards.
I got a lot of them that say Steam Chest on them.
Hey, well, why not?
You can write, Texas Steampunk Connection on the back for.
Right. Also,
what I'll be doing, I'm sure.
Yeah, I need to give you some.
Thing up, I do. With
yeah,
some other people.
I need to get you some Texas Steampunk cards so you can put them in your chest, your Steam chest.
I have like one.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I don't know how many I have left. I don't have a lot left, and they're old anyway. I'm just gonna print some without any, because I originally printed them with my name and fax and Erica's name on them, and then that Erica doesn't want to be on it anymore. So so what am I gonna do? Scratch out her name? No, I just
yes, viciously on every single one. Make it like a passion project.
Right.
And when you see her at Steampunk November handing out the cards, just like looks sideways at her as you hand out the
right.
everybody.
But so I just need to order some. I'm just not gonna put any names on it at all. That way, if we change host, it won't make a difference.
Well, we're all kind of like a conglomerate of hosts here. So
I will say, like, I did not put my name on my business cards for like probably 7 years.
Just Fair Treasure.
Yeah, I'm just like Fair Treasure's website, email address.
You don't need to know my name. You just need to know where to buy my stuff.
Right.
You like my stuff.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, my reading ability was kind of sometimes flaky. For a long time, I thought it was Fairy Treasure, not Fair Treasure.
Oh no!
In my head, I was reading Fairy.
I have to step away again for a quick moment and be back soon.
This is one of those episodes. It's a really busy Tuesday night.
No worries. We're almost done.
So, has anyone given us some good comments? Have we looked at the comments lately?
Yeah, Johanna. She's a friend of mine. I just recently started hanging out with. We were talking about Legend, the TV, that old TV show called Legend with Richard Dean Anderson and John Delancey.
Wait, you mean to tell me that the guy from Stargate and Q are in the same TV show together?
Yes, but before Stargate and Q and Star Trek.
Oh.
It was before that. Before they went to those projects.
Wow.
And it is a very steampunk show. It's just not a very good show. I hate to say, although I like both Richard Dean Anderson and John Delancey, it's just the show itself it could have used better writers, I guess you could say. It wasn't their fault. It was the writing.
That's kind of how I feel about Briscoe County Jr. It's fun, but you're there obviously to watch one guy.
Yeah, exactly. And what else? My mind has just gone blank on me again. I'm getting tired. But we might have to wrap this up sooner than later, unless I can't really think of anything else to talk about at the moment.
Steampunk November, and how I want to have all these projects done, and I want to have my costume ready and updated and everything. But do I have the time? No.
Well,
Anyway,
whose fault is that?
my personal
Time
problem.
management. Time management, buddy. Time management.
My problem is I have 3 businesses, and I'm like volunteering and crap like that. So, and I got a dog over here who probably needs to go outside.
Well, I mean, I do feel kind of bad that we I think we started our Patreon, which, by the way, people, we have a Patreon. If you want to buy us a beer at $3 a month, you can support us. It'll help us with our hosting fees and other things.
Yep. So far, it's I think we have like buy us a beer is the name of the thing, and
the only tier available
right now.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know what I missed, but I come back to sometimes life doesn't use lube.
We're talking about Jack and his bad time management skills.
Yes, Suko. Thank you. Yes.
Oh, apparently Rita has got a purse finished. I'm assuming it's a steampunk purse of some kind. Do you have any plans to go to Steampunk November, Rita?
Pictures.
So yeah, I think we started our Patreon a little too early because we aren't really ready to release more content like we thought we were going to do. Like the short films you wanted to make or little shorts or whatever, Jack.
Yes.
I mean, it's really hard to plan stuff like that when we still have an ongoing pandemic.
Yes.
This is true. We did get hit by a pandemic, and Jack and his family, you keep getting sick and such.
Oh.
Stop getting sick, Jack. And Lex.
We're not getting sick with the COVID, though. It's other stuff.
Well, stop getting the other stuff.
Mainly, and dogs.
Well, Rita's going to be a Steampunk November. All right.
Yes.
And Rita is one of our listeners that we met because she came all the way down for our, the Halloween dance that we had. And we met her in person and she hung out with us and it was cool.
Yep. The one formal event that Steam Chest actually has thrown now with the help of Texas Steampunk Connection. So we're hoping one day we can find another venue to do that in.
Yeah, I'm always up to help and sponsor and whatnot, whatever we can do.
And hey, at least one vendor.
Yeah, we do.
Yes, that is the one thing. It's like I always have a myriad of vendors that I can call up on speed dial. Be like, let's go do this.
Right, just bring your stuff, put it on a table, go.
Get your number, and you'll be added to the list.
Yeah, especially since you're looking for more stuff for your Steam chest, and apparently you might be able to contribute something.
Well, I'm gonna be basically pouring over her booth, I'm sure, at Steampunk. It's usually when I start getting all our good ideas and getting all our contacts saying, "Hey, I need like 300 of these."
Right. You have 300 subscribers? Awesome.
Well, it's always fun to watch these people who are like, smaller artisans, and they have like 10 things they made, and they're like selling them for like $8, and I'm just like, first off, can I get them for $5? But I need like 100 of them. And their eyes are like, yes. When do you need them? January. or
they're like,
hey, we can make them February if you need to. It makes it interesting to see how well people can make, mass produce what I need.
Well, if you're offering to buy it in bulk, yeah,
mm-hmm.
It makes it difficult. It's like, because you also make smaller stuff besides clothing, right, Kitty?
Oh yes. Yeah. One of the things that I know that you've looked at before, Jack, were some of my laser cut wood necklaces.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
And those I can definitely do in bulk.
Perfect. We'll definitely be talking.
I just have to, go back and drive an hour to use a laser.
Yes, I understand.
The laser don't come to you? Unfair.
I mean, we would love to get a laser. There's just no space at our house, not to mention they're expensive when you get a good one.
I have a memory. I was hanging out at a friend of mine's house, and he just so happened to order a laser cutter thingy, and it happened to arrive that day. So we spent the rest of the day setting it up in his garage, making sure there was ventilation and all this stuff. And like, okay, what can we do? So, okay, let's do this. Put something in there, and what are we gonna put on there? Let's do this. Like, watch it happen. And it's like, what else can we do? It's like just burning the random stuff, and it was pretty cool.
And ventilation is so incredibly important because especially when you've got things like, laser engravable rubber for stamps that is low odor. It is not low odor. It is a lie.
Oh no, they lie.
And it makes it really bad when you're like, oh yeah, I've got my design. The file is all set up. We're just going to go. We just have to figure out the settings and then we'll have a stamp. And then you print it out like, awesome, let's test it. That's backwards.
At least you only, that's why you only need the first one needs to be a test one, hoping that, you don't want to do a mass production and then find out it's all backwards. Yeah.
Well, when you're just trying to make one, and so you do 5 partial tests just to start out, you get it dialed in the perfect settings. So you do your one stamp.
And it's backwards.
We did it wrong.
Yep. All a learning process.
Yeah.
So,
go ahead.
Speaking of mass producers, I actually have one of them in this room at the moment. His name is Mick over here. He's got some stuff for us that we're going to be having in the box as soon as he can get it packaged and as soon as I can get him paid. And 2 things.
Well, that's why he's mentioning it. That's why he's mentioning that mass-produced handmade items are not easy.
Yep.
No.
Especially considering I have very particular tastes and high standards.
I mean, if you are an artist, your standards are like, everything that's wrong, every single millimeter.
And you just have to sit there and learn about what is my time worth? Is it worth this much or this much? While going through it.
Yeah, the closest I can relate to that
is something that it's just me.
Yeah,
it's just me. No one else is going to see this.
Yeah, the closest I can relate to that is when I'm editing the podcast. I'm like, why can't I get this? It doesn't quite sound right to me, but it probably sounds fine to everybody else. But it's like that one noise. I need it to sound just so.
that exact thing. I have a gaming YouTube channel, and I'll do montages every now and then, and I'll have my wife come over here, Lex, and she'll sit down. I'm like, all right, tell me which one's better. And I'll have a cut, and then I'll have the other cut, and she's like, these are the same. I'm like, no, they're not. No, don't do that.
Exactly. This one has that and that. Yeah, but luckily I'm like I said, I'm the editor and the producer and all that kind of stuff. But the writer, the guy who's writing it, he has I send him the copies of my edited versions first, and he tells me his opinions. Like, okay, a lot of them are really, he's the director, I'm the writer, so he tells me if it's something sounds funny, then I really listen to it. It's like, oh, you're right, that does sound bad. Let's try it. Let's try this. Because after a while, to listen to it like so many times in a row, I need a second ear. It's like, tell me what it sounds like.
Yeah, and that's other things I've had too. Where you're sitting there and you go over it for 2 or 3 days, and then I set it down for a week on some of the big ones I do, and I come back, and I'm just like, good Lord, this is garbage.
What was I thinking?
I spent 8 hours on this. I thought it was funny.
Those are always fun.
All right, so we can look on our Facebook page for Rita's purse. She posts a picture of it there.
Ew.
Sweet.
So, well, it looks. We've been at this about an hour, so it's about time we start signing off. Sorry about the weirdness of today's podcast. I was not very focused. I apologize, everybody, but there's
We're all
a couple
scattered today. Had to leave, come back, leave again, come back.
Had about 5
Dogs,
meltdowns
cats,
today.
Oh no!
Pure chaos.
I'm not at home. I'm missing my cats. I got to wake up early in the morning tomorrow for work. It's not going to be a good day tomorrow. I'm not a morning person. I am not a morning person. I don't know why these people want me to wake up so damn early. When staying after when they close is a perfectly good option in my book. Anyway, so thank you very much, everybody, for listening. You can once again find us on Facebook, Texas Steampunk Connection. Find our Patreon link there as well. We only have one tier right now. It's just $3. Thank you very much. Thank you for buying us a beer kind of situation. That will help with our hosting fees and other such things like that. Look for Fair Treasures at the upcoming Renaissance Fair, as well as Steampunk November and Sherwood Forest Fair. Sherwood Celtic Festival this weekend. I don't know if this is going to go up before that, but if you listen to us live, she'll be at the Sherwood Celtic Festival. I will be at the Sherwood Celtic Festival. I will not be in garb. I will just be plain.
You don't need to be in garb for it. It's a relaxed event.
Just wear the hat.
Exactly. I'll probably wear my hat. I'll wear a hat. I'll wear my hat. Let's see.
Protect the head.
Well, I'm bald. I don't want to get sunburned.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be there this weekend as well. Well, only on Saturday myself. So let's see what else. Jack, don't forget to check out Jack's Steam Chest and subscribe to his Steam Chest. If you want a monthly shipment of steampunk goodies, talk to Jack. And I think that's everything. So thank you very much again. Until next time, mind your gauges, everybody. And we're signing.